Hi everybody, Flash Razzle here, back again in revolutionary France, and we are back in 1789, May? We're going to a party with lots of exhaustion. Not good. It's the church, so let's find ourselves a nice frock the church would like. We ain't got much of a choice really. It's going to be our provincial dress. The Feast of St. Isaac. With it, you brush off the notion, and step down out of your carriage. You already know what we must listen for. Yeah, standard. Okay, fine. Gratefully, everyone likes us. Cool. Now let the games begin. Oh, Sadotti. So we've got pick a conversation. Okay. Avoid the run-of-the-mill interaction with a pious woman at a party. You might find yourself having a medal like that in the future. Yeah. We've got distant memories of Armand. Sadotti. Let's have a conversation with Father Sadotti. I should have heard what was going on then. You find yourself chatting with Ludovicio, but he seems to be more weary than usual. The father said to the hostesses possessed, what should we do? Mondre Diago, he gasped. I'm already a young priest, so you find me an old priest. Oh, I'm sorry, but I must have drifted off. I've just spent several nights meeting with the First Estate's representatives from the Estates General. The past priests from the country want changes to benefit the people who are starving in the streets, but the bishops and deacons in the city are all from noble families and don't want to upset the current order. They administer their churches like their own personal estates. We're supposed to be agents of the Lord, unified by our mission to protect the souls of our flocks, but it seems like that's too much to hope for. I admit I have my own biases, but I'm informed. But they're informed by Scripture. After all, the Lord Himself said, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of God." Okay. I understand that much of the Bible's wisdom is difficult to interpret, but that part feels pretty straightforward to me. Still, I've been charged with looking out for the Church's best interests in my reports back to Rome. I want them to see that the time has come to stop picking sides, but I need to make sure that it's someone that already has a harmonious relationship with us. Of course, whoever the Catholic Church makes overtures to will get a little power, even if that faction's own relationship with the Church doesn't actually change. Ooh. Neutrality in the face of suffering is not something we can afford. Oh, this is interesting. The crown brings stability is safety. You desire to help the people. Tell them that it's... Oh, this is a bit of a big one. Oh. I don't know. I really don't know. You desire to help the people. Let's do that one. Really, you think they'll truly be receptive to supporting the revolution? You can't be right about it. Are you really sure that's who the church favours? Oh, I may have read that wrong, didn't I? Oh, that was a blow. I've read that completely wrong. Oh well. I suppose it does make sense for us to begin to support the revolution. They have the people's best interests at heart, he says, nodding along. This will most certainly help the revolution. Okay. Yeah. The revolution's gained a little power. The crown's lost a little power. I'm not entirely sure that's helped me, really. You chat a while longer with Ludovicio, but eventually the two of you part ways. After all, you both have more to take care of before the night is over. Let's see if there's time for you to get up to anything else. I didn't do that a very good job of that, did I really? In fact, I made a complete disaster of that. We've got a standard conversation over here. Drunk, extremely drunk. Chambermaid, watch over him. Cheap jerk gossip. A couple in this section of the party seems to absolutely boom with gossip and secrets. Is there something that's just not telling you? Okay. Or it's the architect Christopher's organisation. I'm not taking lost in my pardon. I'm not risking my peril. Or we've got a rather wonderful conversation. Let's go with a couple, bring me secrets, like something they're not telling you. Let's try this one for a while, see what happens with this one. You find yourself chatting with an interesting pair. Neither of them are members of the clergy. In fact, a few people at this party are. If you had to guess, most of the guests here are major contributors, ardent defenders of the faith, or people with relatives in the clergy. The conversations here are more subdued than most of the other parties you bring to, but no less interesting. In fact, you've already managed to hear some very interesting things. Okay. By the way, have you heard about anything else? The man says, wagging his eyebrows significantly at his friend. Oh, she perks up. She leans in to whisper to her friend. There have been some developments. Of course, you still manage to hear the two talking. Also exchanging off others from the conversation. Oh, this is rude. Hang on. Of course, you still manage to hear the two talking, also excluding others from the conversation. Oh, this is rude. But I'd rather discuss later, she continued, shooting you a quick, nervous glance. Easy, we'll go with that one. You watch, she says, voice tightening as she studies. As you study them, they both fail to meet your gaze. She leans closer. I don't know who would have told you, but the fact that this is getting at is already not good. Don't worry, I think we can trust her here, so sure, sir. Okay, happy days. She starts discussing these developments, and you find them generally surprising. Some of these details are quite damning, especially for a group like the church, who make such an effort to wash their hands of sin. Scandalous church gossip. With a lot of tension in the air, the three of you go your separate ways. You can't help but glance around to see if anyone watched the whole exchange, but you notice nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. So we've got a bishop has called for the censorship of an opera, critical of the church. Okay. Going to decide to accuse criminals. Okay. A bishop has recently intervened on behalf of a group of accused prostitutes. Is he protecting the virtue of the innocent women or trying to cover his own vices? Oh, continue. 6th of March 1789. Yesterday, with great fanfare, the States General finally convened. This great meeting is the result of His Majesty the King calling together all three states to debate and vote upon how the various crises ravaging the country shall be resolved. As part of the opening ceremony, each estate parades down the streets of the city. The first is at the church, and the clergymen from all over France. Among their number are everything from humble countryside priests in their black cassocks to resplendent bishops and cardinals bedecked in crimson and gold. The second set, the nobility, strutted down the streets in unison, bedecked in their finest clothes and jewels. They seemed like an army of swaggering peacocks. Theirs is the realm of tradition, privilege, and loyalty to the crown. The third state, representing over 9/10 of France's population, marched in stern and quiet rows, dressed in blacks, browns, and other sober colours. They represent everyone from the highest judge to the wealthiest factory owner to the lowliest peasant. In fact, His Majesty has even seen fit to break from tradition to grant the third estate double representation, with twice the amount of representatives. They're closer to representing their own stake in the country. They're closer to representing their own stake in the country, which was originally a source of great hope. Okay. Unfortunately, it's come to pass that while they were granted double representation, they haven't been given double the amount of votes. The third state can only cast as many votes as either the first or the second, which means their double representation is purely symbolic. Needless to say, this has made people extremely unhappy. In fact, it led to some within the third state to, wait, what the devil? Clutching the newspaper in your tightening clutches, you read the article carefully. One of the men describing the article sounds extremely familiar. Long brown hair, young, tall, and taller, resplendent, representing the nobility of the second state, but was elected to merely wear a fine blue coat has elected to merely wear a fine blue coat for the opening ceremonies without the other adornments. The article writer signalled that his casual attire is disrespectful. That's Armand, you're absolutely certain of it. Without any illustrations to speak of, you're forced to carefully reread the short passage over and over again. Every time his statement about the reporter's chosen viewing point of the ceremonies gains a new value as you attempt to deduce where Armand was last seen. After checking your findings against your map of Paris, you think you might have a lead. Researching Armand is now available to visit on the Paris map. In fact, you might be able to search for him today. We could do that. We have nothing, so we'll explore Paris. But we won't have absolutely nothing in the diary. Let's have a quick look at our journal. Okay, we've got kisses. That looks going well. We want to get the push that one along a little bit. Bourgeoisie are actually as powerful as the crown. That's interesting. That's very interesting. And they've got this, and they support the revolution. Okay. PS gossip. Let's have a visit. Let's visit Pierre and sell some gossip first. Calendar, explore Paris. Let's flog some, because we've got quite a lot. Well, we've got loads on, haven't we? Work on the nerve. Nope. We've got. That's just searching for gossip. That's just. That's that revolutionary bloke. And the abandoned studio. Okay. Or we've got research in Normand, which is. Okay, that's what we've just learned about. Or we've got. You rushed to Antoine's abode to check in on him. He claims that someone attempted to poison him. Oh yeah, we've learned about that some other time, but yeah, let's go and sell some gossip first. See how old Pierre is. We went to Pierre's office to find it more disorderly than usual, with Pierre pacing frantically in the midst of all the chaos. He looks up at you and exclaims, "Oh, madame, thank God you've arrived. I'll be keenly checking the winds of public opinion, and my finely honed journalistic senses tell me our leadership desperately requires our stories concerning the crown." Yada yada yada. Yep, we'll give it a whiz. It doesn't seem to cost us if we don't do anything. No chance. We'll have some of that. Credit has gone up. Can we sell this? 1 in 20. We'll take some of that. We've got a bit more to sell. Let's just sell gossip. 1 in 10. Nope. Let's sell this one. That's worth 60. 1 in 10. Right. I think we'll 3. 1 in 4. Let's not. Let's cut our losses and head home. Okay, let's explore Paris again. We got away with that. Cool. Let's rest home. Let's actually spend the day resting home. Let's get rid of our exhaustion. Yep. Do usual. We're a little longer exhausted. Excellent. Right. Okay. Get rid of that now. Now we can see what's got now because we've got no parties, which has me ever so slightly concerned. So we've got you need a market, and you've got your own maid of all. He seems to be in a bit of trouble. Okay. Hands in the depths. Let's see in Dorman. Let's go and see what Camille's been up to. Let's go see Camille. You spend the day walking through the city, exploring the neighbourhoods near a market. The air is pungent, a rush of scents from crisp vegetables to fresh fruits, and to less than fresh fish. Try to say that with a mouthful. Where are we? Your ears suddenly perk up at the sound of a familiar voice, and you start slipping through the crowd in its direction. You stumble upon Camille, her arms full with a basket full of day's groceries. However, she's been stopped by a watchman of the Gret Royal, one of the infamous archers. He's berating Camille in the middle of the street. Where do you get that? Where did you get those? He demands, gesturing at her groceries. Quoi? But monsieur, you saw me buy these. I got them over here. Over there, she points. She sees pointed in the direction of a market stall. I saw no such thing, he says, blistering at the suggestion that you could have been paying attention to the surroundings. Where's your receipt? Camille's eyes dart from side to side, and she turns her feet away from him. Something about this line of questioning is making her uncomfortable. I never get receipts, monsieur. What? That's ridiculous. Why not? Why don't I? Can't. Camille starts looking shamefully at the ground. You're going to have to give me a very good reason not to haul you away, he growls, with one of his hands extended out low with his palms up. That's what this is about. Easy. She'll give this one a whiz. The watchman stares at you, absolutely startled at the suddenly interpose yourself between him and Camille. What? You've been robbed? Which way did he go? We don't allow criminals here, not on my watch. Suppressing the powerful reflex to comment on the irony of this situation. You point him in a random direction. To sell that illusion, you provide a believable yet suitably vague description of your imaginary assailant. Musk is out there. The watchman runs off into the crowd, yelling after the imaginary cut purse. The moment you sight of him, the two of you start to hurry away. Wow, madam, that was amazing, she gushes. Normally, I remember to bribe the authorities, but something came over me and I completely forgot. You gain little credibility. You spend the rest of her escorting Camilla about her daily errands. It takes a few minutes for her to completely feel comfortable again, but it comes eventually. Cool. We help Camille. I like Camille. Finally, when's that? Go on then. Credit's gone up. Close. Accept. Close. Accept. Close. Oh, I've done it again. Have it thrown the bounce. Okay, right. Let's explore Paris. We are going to have to go and get a new wardrobe at some point. Crown, we've got it covered. We've got it covered. Yeah, we've just about got it covered. Yeah, okay. Cool, let's go back to the calendar. Let's explore Paris. We've got over here. Oh yeah, I like that sound of that one. Studying the chemistry. Use the sounds of proposition for you, and it's something to do with rooms in the city. Stepping out for a drink. I've always said I want to. Right, this is what the plan is. We'll go do the Elizabeth one, because I do want to push it, because I push this on my first one. I push this, but I pushed this too late. So while something very interesting happened, I think I pushed it too late in the game for it to kind of materialise into anything or go anywhere. So I'd like to push that sooner, just to see if it does have a material effect on what happens. Obviously, we've got hit up this. We've got to hit up these. We need to do these three. So what I might do is we'll do Elizabeth now, and then we'll hit up Christopia. You've learned that you used to visit. We've got that one. But researching on Mond. Right, let's hit up Elizabeth first, and we'll do one of these three. Okay, visit location. While exploring the streets of Paris, you find yourself on a calmer street than most. The cacophony of the city fades away, and things are quiet, other than the sound of a few pigeons feasting upon some grain that's been carelessly spilled on the road. You pause to watch and wonder what it must be like to be content with something as simple as a handful of seeds. Is it a better life? Then again, you've never seen a pigeon that still has all of its toes, so it can't be all that nice. Just as you're about to look around for something more stimulating, you spot a familiar face. Oh, Yvette, what are you doing here? Wandering on the city, hoping I'd run into you. What cheap romance did you pull that line from? You'll look at charming. That is charming when you're the one saying it. Hello. Madam, you've gained some favour with Elizabeth. Out here searching for something interesting. Draw any ideas? My dears, I think the great Madame Lebrun would have more than enough subjects to draw. Why don't we stop into one of the taverns nearby? There might be something there. Let's try the pub. That could work. She mumbles, more to herself than anyone else. Let's go. You stop at a nearby tavern and take a seat. It's the middle of the day, and the crowd is closely packed. Perhaps I can work with this, she says as she starts to unpack her supplies. Glancing with some uncertainty around the tavern, she starts drawing faster than you've ever seen anyone draw before. There's no hesitation in her movements, and instead she sketches with a confidence that can only come from decades of practice. After some time, Elizabeth's fervous drawing begins to subside. What started as a storm of lines and sketching winds down to a few careful marks as she works to get everything just so. Eventually she stops altogether and lays the sketchbook on her lap. Her hand finds yours, and you both sit there for a while and just watch you all go by together. Her voice is quite barely louder than a whisper. I don't think I'm out of my slump yet, but I'm still happy you're here. You gained a little favour with Elizabeth. Good. She squeezes your hand slowly, tenderly. She returns her affection. You squeeze her hand back, savouring your closeness together. We've gained a little more favour. Your index finger idly brushes along the top of her hand, and for the first time you notice something there, firm and unyielding, her wedding ring. She notices your changing expression. He doesn't know, and I don't think he needs to. Of course he doesn't, this is just about us. You stay and chat a little longer while commenting on the strangers at the nearby tables, and try to determine who would be more interesting to draw. Your mind often wanders back to what any of these people would say if they knew what you were up to, what the two of you were doing together, just paces from them. However, none of the strangers notice that without realising it, they treat you, Elizabeth, like any other pair of people in the world, and it's freeing. Like you've been holding your breath your entire life and finally able to exhale. As the crowd in the tavern starts to move elsewhere, Elizabeth stands up and starts to gather her things. She stops to scribble down a note in her sketchbook, then tears out the paper and hands it to you. It's an address. Can you write me a letter when you want to see me again? Wonder Elizabeth is now available. With that, she walks away, stopping only to glance back one last time before she leaves you in the square. As a few minutes decide to leave the tavern and home, your mind is still swimming with emotion. Hello, sailor. That's the way that's done. Oh, hang on. Camille, the ever cheerful Camille's back. You look up to the sound of Camille knocking on the door. Good morning, madame. The house rent's due today, as are my wages. Of course we'll pay you. Pay the rent and your servants. Happy days. Merci beaucoup, madame, Camille says with a curtsy as you hand her the money. You paid 40 livres. Camille leaves to deliver the money, and with that, business is concluded and your day may continue. Journal. Look at that. Right. What's the plan today? Calendar. Explore Paris. We've got these three. Assisting on tone. I'm not to... abandoned studio. I did this in my last one. I mean, I can't remember what we got out of it. But this one didn't come up, so I'll have to cover this one. I was reading about a man that matches a month's description in a newspaper article. You head down to where he was last spotted. Hopefully you'll be able to find some clues regarding his disappearance. But I'm not that bothered though. Getting ready in a flash, you head out onto the corner with a newspaper on your journal, determined to find some evidence of where a man could possibly be. The journalist who wrote the article mentioned a nearby bakery. It sounded familiar to you from your various walks about Paris. You curse yourself for having to rely on such thin evidence as a description of a man who might be Armand, reported being seen near a bakery, which might be the one you vaguely remember. There's no guarantee he'll ever come back here. There's barely a guarantee that he was ever here at all. It's utterly maddening, and you still to remember what's even motivating you right now. Yeah, you must find him on because I love him. Yeah, looking at what we've just looked at in the journal, I'm not so sure that's true. Amon must rue the day he wronged me, and for that I must find him. Yeah, let's have the truth. You feel a rush of energy, say this to yourself. You cannot rest until you have answers. You manage to find the bakery, but you're uncertain as to where to start your search. Go inside and quest the proprietor. You step inside, you feel a tapping on your shoulder. Here he is. It's when you should get off the street, he says quietly. You're still struck dumb with shock when he leads you off the street and into a nearby tavern with no other patrons. They have to look at the two of you, a mixture of confusion and indignation if the very idea of customers offends them to the core. Even after sitting there for a few moments, nobody approaches your table. This might help explain why there are no other customers in here. I'm so glad to see you, he says, his eyes staring deeper into your own. I'm really happy to see you. How dare you even speak to me after all of this? What happened to you? What's going on? Why any of this? Why to any of this? Yes, go with that one. I can see this turn of fortune has done nothing to dull your inquisitive nature. I came to Paris, and as you can tell by my old dwellings, had to live very frugally. As much as I could enjoy a little luxury, my money was better spent on my other pursuits in the city. As attending Paris, I needed to make inroads with powerful people, including one Viscount de Faux. He shakes his head ruefully. As beside myself with rage when I heard that they'd lashed out at you to get vengeance on me, and I knew that I'd angered them with my proposals, but I had no idea they synced to such a wretched behaviour. In fact, he says in a low voice, I believe that they're the one who sent those men to do violence upon me. Thankfully for my father's constant insistence that I study the art of pugilism, I proved to be wise. After great struggle and several smart applications of a candelabra to their heads and shoulders, I managed to drive them both from the house. He stands proudly, but a telltale wind suggests he might have still be recovering from some injuries. However, I have no idea when those villains would return, and how many of their associates had been with them. So I had to flee that very night. And on my mind that was a sound decision, but in my heart I regretted it ever since. I'm so sorry. Please, I forgive you already. I'm glad you're alive. You can apologise your wish, but words won't. You can apologise your wish, but words won't heal us. Yeah, I dreaded for weeks. You thought that I dreaded for weeks. I thought that you would say that. You lost a little favour, but I cannot say that I don't deserve it, at least somewhat. Perhaps you'll be able to forgive me with time when you see that I had good reason for all of this. When you see what's at stake for us. Of course, right now I still have to risk going to the States General, as I have many important things to do there. Thankfully, nobody can risk assailing me while I'm there. But I have to keep my living situation a secret due to the threat of ambush. He says while pulls out a piece of paper begins to write on it. He hands you the paper, which he's written and addressed on. It's a house on the western edge of the city. Don't worry, it's just as charming as the one you're living in at the moment. Mum's purpose is now available to visit in the Paris map. Well, I can't move back in with you. You'll at least be able to visit me where we're staying. Yeah. Un moment, Armand. What do you mean where we're staying? Yeah. Well, you see. Armand, what the devil are you doing here? We need to, the woman asks as she walks into the tavern. She freezes in her tracks when she sees you. Who is this? I suppose introductions are in order. Yvette, this is Joanna de Jardine. She leads the political society I've been working with. Joanna, this is Yvette de my fancy. Managed to track me down and monsters quite badly. Your fancy, after all this time I assumed. Joanna trails off, looking at you over carefully. Well, no matter, if someone like her could find you, then we aren't doing a very good job of hiding. We have to go. I've just finally found her. Absolutely not. The longer we stay on the streets, the more likely it is that some assassin runs a blade through your ribs. Joanna replies in a soothing voice, resting her fingers on the back of his hand. You won't see her again if all that happens. I suppose that's reasonable, Armand admits, running his fingers through his hair. Yvette, you know how to find me. I will tell you more, but for now I need to go. Don't worry, this won't last forever. I don't like the look on her face. With that, you leave. Yeah, the more I learn about this situation, the less I like it. Absolutely. You exit the tavern, your mind swirling with dark possibilities, and have a sense of dread. You find them on, but now you're wondering if that was for the best. Yes. Having played this one through once, some cutscenes are hard to try to be surprised at. Having another one through once, because I've done that one before. Some events happen. There's been a few events in there that have been completely new, like the opening storyline with the Viscount was completely different what happened in the first one. In every sense, it was massively different. But anyway, rendezvous. We're meeting Soldier Boy, aren't we? So let's go in our fancy frock here. Yep. You're neither well rest. Yep, fine. We're back into. We had this with the Sedotian Run 1. We always met in the same place. We're back in the idyllic Gwinnett Paradis, which is already packed with enthusiastic patrons clapping in time with the band's music, drinking great gulps of wine and dancing. Alex arrives exactly on time. Greets you with a press aspal and broad smile. Bon après-midi, Yvette. It's great to see you, he says, not even taking a second glance at your clothes. Once again, you're reminded, yep, decent amount of favour, glances from location, free-flowing drink, raucous fun, excellent dancing. This is going to be a great day. You're getting some favour with Alex. The two of you don't even get a table. Instead, Alex orders a bottle of wine for each of you, and you're supposed to spend the entire day dancing together. At the end of the evening, we've seen this before. Yep. You're then completely tired, head home. Alex walking home, saying that he's never forgiven himself if this is new, if he let some misfortune before you. You've been in Paris for quite some time. Do you miss your family at all? This is new. I'm glad I didn't skip through that quickly. Yes and no, but I can't really be who I really am when I'm around them. Smiles reply, I can understand that. If you are a seed, then family is the soil in which we grow. However, if we stay too close, we will find ourselves wilting in their shade. Very profound. He silently shakes his head. The conversation dies down somewhat when he takes hold of you. That black doesn't matter, the warmth of his body says enough. You've had enough reason to leave Paris, but you're still here. Why? What happens in Paris is the future of France, and I want to see it happen. France is lesser of two evils. Stumps of ridicules are better than significance. I love the people here. There's a passion I'm drawn to. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh, 1 or 3. Ooh, tough one. I don't know. It's a passion, clearly, because what you look at the journal. Let's go with that one. For much the same, he says, squeezing your hand gently. Okay. More favour with Alex. Keen to walk together, sticking near the buildings to avoid getting stuck by some reckless carriages that might come barreling down the street. Coachmen these days are paid for speed, not safety. The door of the house suddenly bursts open. In front of you, a grimy man steps out. Without word, the man shoves you out of the way and silently starts marching down the street. His face contorted with anger, Alex yells at the man walking with him. You, monsieur, halt right now. The degree marches over to his man and looms over him, but not with force of a soldier preparing for yet another fight. There's something more about Alex's demeanour. He's incensed, haughty and imperious. You've taken leave of your senses to loathe this imbecile. Do you think it's acceptable for a man to act out this way? You'll apologise to her immediately. While taken back and face the grimy man who treated her rudely, sneers and replies, I should have no such thing. Who the devil are you to ask this of me? I am Alex, begins and halts suddenly. He steps backwards, as sure of himself. I am. The next words are a whisper, only one you can hear. I am nobody. Who is he? He's one of the Queen's War Dragoons, you ingrate. Monsieur, I'm the one you should apologise to. Or, Monsieur, I'm the one you should apologise to. Is this how you treat all women? Are you nothing, madam? He says, you like my behaviour so much, don't walk near my house. As Alex faces up again, this time placing a hand on the pommel of his sabre. Monsieur, are you sure that's what you want to say to her? Alex looks at you, gives you a confident nod. At this, the boyish man, less sure of himself, grumbles a half-hearted apology to both of you and scurries away, taking great care to avoid eye contact with either of you. Alex tensely watches the man until he's completely out of sight. The dragoon is shaking a little. It turns to you with a wide grin as if nothing happened at all. Sorry about that. I'm normally much better about this sort of thing. Are you all right? Dimas isn't my real name, it was my mother's. My father forbade me from molesting on the family name. He felt I'd be dragging it through the mud. I wanted to make something of myself, and it only brought him shame. Thanks for asking that. As you can imagine, I'd rarely have the occasion to discuss these sort of things. You gain some favour. The two of you walk and talk and try to settle yourselves after what transpired. You both did a decent job, and managed to almost forget that boorish man's attempt to spoil your evening. For your note, you've arrived at your humble house. Camille doesn't come out to greet you, but given the late hour, that's unsurprising. Shall we see each other again? Yeah, of course. Go on then. Inside, you step gently over Camille, who happens to be sleeping in the hallway. Outside, heading upstairs to undress and to chronicle your evening's events in your journal, you wonder when you'll learn more of this mysterious soldier. Ooh, there's more to our man Alex than we know. Okay. And next potential love tryst. Okay, right, let's march on. Okie next. Right, let's get ourselves a suitable church outfit. That's military. Yep, we're going to go with the provincial dress, which is getting a little bit... yeah, we need to go and get some new dresses. To spend the first... Yep. Unfortunately, you can feel the air we know. Yeah. You return to the sewer landscape of the Parc Monceau. The massive gardens are bustling with people who are gasping and gawking at many displays and costumed persons demonstrating the treasures of the world. Ludovico arrives at the same time as his often approaches. He stands close, with just enough distance provided with the plausible deniability should anyone become suspicious of you two. I feel blessed to even look upon you, he says with a smile, and you catch his eyes lingering on a few choice places. You've gained staggering amounts of faith with Ludovico. Reluctantly, he takes his gaze off you, he examines your location. Ludovicio's eyes light up when he looks out at the sewer landscape of Park Moncoeur. It's fun, adventurous, even a little educational. I love it. More favour. The young priest is absolute blur. He takes Bell and leads you around the park, forgetting himself in his giddiness. The two of you start to narrate your adventures together as if you were characters in a book. Yep. As you realise it's getting late and the two of you part together. Looking at Ludovic, you feel like today went quite well. Yep. Okay. Next. Where's that? Plenty of time. Yep, accept. Close. Cool, now to this party. Keep on going. Happy, joy. Go to the party of the Viva la Revolution. Probably on. Have we anything that Revolution? Yeah, we'll take this one. We'll take our Robe la Française. The Baroness Catherine Merzier requested attendance of Yvette to go to their saloon for this festive party to be sure the very height of generous. Yeah, well, we know standard level. Take the gift. People like that. Now let the games begin. So we've got in need of an introduction. Someone must establish himself. Okay, some risk with that. We've got man is trying to convince Pierre to do something he absolutely cannot. Perhaps his quasi-intervention. Okay. We have got another remembering Armand, and we've got Christophe. Okay, he's always getting himself in difficult conversations. Let us... was it this one? Let's go rescue Pierre. What Pierre's doing at the party, I do not know, but anyway. You stumble across something strange. Not only do you see Pierre, what was I just saying? You stumble across something strange. Not only do you see Pierre at this party, it looks like he was actually invited. However, instead of his normal routine of stealing one and stuffing hors d'oeuvres into his coat, he's engaged in a serious conversation with a young revolutionary. All senses control newspapers like yours for years, dictating what they couldn't say. All I'm asking you to do is turn their tools against them. We can pay you to publish our story, sympathetic to the people's causes. I must refuse, monsieur. Pierre flashed flatly. War senses were the enemy of the truth when the crown used them, and I won't bow to another such order again, no matter who holds the reins. We're not asking you to deviate from all your pages to stories we create just a few. This isn't anything you've done before. I love when he gets angry. Is that what they're saying of me now? Pierre grasped, clutching his snuff box with a tight fist. That I'm a liar. If I was a liar for pay, I wouldn't be out. If I was a liar for pay, I wouldn't be out in the street enduring slings and outs just to find a story. If I was a liar, I wouldn't be comfortable in my office dreaming up new fabrications. I would be comfortable in my office doing new fabrications. In fact, I'd probably be wealthier too, sipping fine brandy every night instead of the gutters full I content myself with. I'd clothe myself in finery instead of repairing the same rat-eaten rags. Perhaps such trappings would even make me seem respectable in all your eyes, eh? No man worth his salt is without sin. I've stolen, I've skulked in the dark, and I've swum deeper in the sea of mankind's vulgarity than the worst scoundrels imaginable, but my paper has never lied. Listen here, you know that we can pay handsomely. You know that our cause is just. Is one paper editor's ability to sleep easier at night truly too great a price to pay for the good we can bring to the common people's lives? Are you really so important that your reputation is worth more than their freedom? Pierre fell silent, his eyes furrowing. Pierre, sometimes the ends justify me you're even getting paid. If your cause is just as you say, then there's no need of lies. I think we've done here. Medium amount of peril. Oh, difficult. Throw Pierre's brow down deeper and bead sweat forms on his brow. Pierre looks at you and shakes his head. Fine, I'll publish short fictions. Just give me the money and let's get on with it. Oh, okay. Oh well. The Revolution hands Pierre a purse of coins. Here's your advance. I'll send one over with our request in the morning. The editor takes the money. Does he even look the Revolution in the eye? I think I might have made a mistake there. Anyway, now if the two of you can excuse me, I'm going to drink myself to the gutter Pierre mum before walking away from the two of you. Thank you for making me see something of you, she says with a smile. In fact, let me give you one of our latest stores as payment for your efforts. You gain an outrageous piece of crime gossip. Okay, I'm not entirely sure I wanted to do that. The woman wearing the green emerald necklace. I'm staying away from that one. Tony's currently locked in conversation with a moderate member. Let's see. I didn't put in. Yeah, hang on. This conversation is already looking like it's reaching breaking point. So any intervention you commit might be quite meaningful indeed. Yeah, I never really pushed the Anton angle at all in 1-1. So let's have a go. Just because I didn't really kind of engage with Anton at all. It's all about the Potter taking the atmosphere. It's boisterous, lively, and bohemian. This side of the room, you spot the intense young man from before. In fact, he's looking especially tense in this conversation with the guest. They raise their voice and already attracting a crowd. You don't know, you don't understand. How can you be so caught up in civility and due process when our people are suffering this very instance? The second we lose order, everything breaks down, the man replies as if he was talking to a child. If we make our case correctly with the Grand General Assembly, we can convince the King that it's in everyone's best interest to adopt a constitutional monarchy. It works in England and it can work here. You really think we can just vote our problems away? If you play by the nobility's rules, we'll only get on an order. You'll only get an order that they want. The name of our government will change, but nothing will improve that for anyone. What you want is simply not how things are done in a civilised country. I'm a lawyer, and with a wealth of experience, I know what I'm talking about. As far as I can tell, you're what, a half-successful playwright. What do you know? I know that one does not make revolutions by half measures. He's right. You can't just expect nobility to willingly give up their advantages over us. You may be right. You can't change us by breaking them. Let's not let our tempers turn against ourselves, Anton. Let's step away for a moment. Still in the throes of bubbling anger, Anton shoots you a vicious glare. Suddenly his face contorts and he sighs. If it pleases you, then I will walk with you. He shoots one last dagger-like glare to his opponent. This isn't over. It's not over at all. Okay, some favour with Antoine. The guard murmurs in approval. Appreciate your ability to restore calm in this situation. Peril's gone down. That was worth it. Slowly the card dispersed and you two of you on together. Thank you for your help. I was very close to losing my temper. Anton, you're so much more dedicated than others. Why is that? He pauses, considering his thought carefully and quickly. When he examines your expression, I have less to lose than they do. They deny the truth of what needs to be done because most of them are still in the positions of wealth, government, or cultural power. He sees that the now distant crowd. They want liberty and equality as long as they keep all the things that make them more comfortable and secure. I have no such obstacles. I'm surprised that you asked me at all. Most is write me off as a zealot. It's a purposeful delusion to salve their guilt conscience. He shrugs before he smiles at you. I like that you're willing to be braver than that. Ooh. He stops, frowns and shakes his head as if to clear it, but frowns again. As if he can't stand it. How do they just choose passivity? Choosing means being uncertain. They'd rather keep what they have. They're not choosing at all. They're not all choosing it. That you're not alone. I'm afraid that if you keep dwelling on this, you'll drive yourself mad. They're not all choosing it. That you're not alone. He frowns and smiles. Then perhaps you're right. I have plenty of allies here, even if they aren't always vocal. He takes his head in his hand. He takes your hand in his own. Some are certainly smarter than others. Two of you chat together for a little longer, isolated from the crowd. He smiles intently and says, "Just wait a minute, I have something for you." He pulls a clean white handkerchief from his pocket and hands it to you. His name and address has been embroidered into it in red thread. "You'd write to me soon. It would please me to meet you alone, away from all these half-hearted types," he whispers, gesturing dismissively at some of the other guests. Okay then. Well, this is going a bit different from Lund 1, isn't it? With that, he turns and leaves, disappearing almost instantly from the crowd. It's rare to find such a man that burns with passion. Set in the holy emotion of rush, you float about the party searching for the next engagement. We've got 3. Oh. We've got Anton the day has a problem, requires your advice, and your words seem to carry a great deal of weight with him. There's that one. There's more memories. There's a rather one. Yeah, that's okay. Exchange rumours. Do we want to have a bit trip down memory lane? Shall we? Go on, let's have a trip down memory lane, shall we? You step away from the crowd at the party and take a moment to be alone. A memory that you had not considered for a while flashes through your mind. You're back in your provincial hometown. So Armand had left for this section, but you yourself had yet to leave for Paris. Instead, you walked around in the cold, reading his letter over and over again. This particular one had been puzzling you for a while. In retrospect, his letters had been going strange for quite some time, but it's much easier to notice such warning signs long after the point where would have been useful. Dwelling on such failures had never helped anyone. Warning signs like the gentleman and Charles who had accosted the two of you during your last night with Armand. As you share of it, my heart aches to see you with an ever-growing ardour that I'm scarce able to control. I may be surrounded by companions here, but without you I feel alone. Whenever I found myself engaging with persons other than my sponsors, I find myself exasperated. So many powerful people calmly discussing the state of the nation as if it were a tennis match, as though there are only 2 possible victors, yet the outcome had no real meaning. Individuals like that cannot be allowed to steer the fate of our people. If we are presented with 2 bad options, we must force a third. To put it simply, it feels like France is slipping, it's a ship hurtling towards a rocky shore that nobody's at the wheel. This awareness of the imminent catastrophe is a main unifying thread that binds our little group together. Our leader is one who isn't worried. She works feverishly, portrays no sign of fear. I think you would like her immensely. The 2 of you share a lot in common. I reckon that's like the lady in green, our leader. You had puzzled over this before. Who was this woman Armand was referring to in a letter? Was it perhaps Joanna, the person you met recently? Of course, in the name of the building coalitions, I had to partake in a company of several extremely unpleasant individuals. It's perhaps the only reason I'm glad that you're not here. I would hate to inflict their judgmental presence upon you. Even when I finally travel home from this interminable dinners at their grand estates, I still feel like I'm being watched. Now, I know I've said it before, but I really wish you were here. I know that there are things I'm not seeing, things that you'd notice instantly. All I can be certain of that is they're racing against an unseen clock. Put it simply, the people of France are hungry. Hungry people do not remain hungry for long. Je t'aime embrasse, Armand. Reconsider the memories in a new light is unpleasant but also grinding. You feel a little more prepared for whatever comes next. You've lost some peril, gained a lot of credibility. Trust them or not trust them could come of this. The more I think about this, the worse it gets. I'm in a den of vipers. Yeah, the second one, absolutely. With the star system, you begin to engage with the world around you once more. The memory drifts away like a waning moments of a dream. Hopefully you can still accomplish something at this party before the night is over. Okay, that was it then. I thought we had 3, but clearly we had 2. The Queen plans to grant the title to one of her closest female friends. Is the Queen recognised merit or giving honours friends? Okay, that's fair enough. 14th of May, 1789. I'm assuming it's May. I'll get ready for you. Notice Camilla's left side on your nightstand. The wax seal shines like red fresh blood. You break the seal and with a deft slice from your letter opener. You can immediately tell the handwriting is Antoine's. He writes quickly enough that you can find a small smatters of ink at the top of his compressed, precise pen. Should have to go dissatisfied with the ceaseless inaction of my peers. I've decided to do something myself. I'd like you to join me should you find yourself inclined to the cause of liberty. The letter goes on to describe a location where you could meet him. Direct actions are available to visit in the Paris map. Fear not, I'm certain that you will enjoy this as much as the royalists will hate it. Claire, Pet, Arrête, Patrick. Okay. Your directions gets in map. If you head out now, it might be possible to meet up with Antoine today. Oh, okay, hang on. Accept. Alright, let's go to the Paris map. so what we've got a month's purpose. I'm not going to visit that. We've got up here, we've got direct action. So to join the direct political action and wealth and liberty in Paris. That kind of does not at all look like it could be a complete disaster. I'm going to avoid that. I'm going to ignore that. We've got these two. We've got balance of power between. Okay. We've got that one. Your latest works when you come across art. Okay. Let's see. Let's return to the estate. Hold on a second. Let us. So we've got a party then. Let us see if we can. Let's Elizabeth pick a location. Gwinnett P. Pick location. And let's invite for a rendezvous there. Ludovicio. Okay. I thought we could write to him as well. Okay. Let's see. Explore the Paris map. Petite Margale, Trompe Royal, Jardin Palais. We should visit this location because that's the place we can meet up. Home. Flush Royale, that's the place where we get gossip. Alright. However, that's all going to be for the next one. So, let's go back to the estate. We've got 3 days before we do that. So I'm thinking, in the next episode, I'm thinking we hit one of these to get rid of them. We hit one of these to get rid of them. And we visit the Jardin des Plantes. So I reckon we hit one of these two, hit that one for 2 days, and then we take it from there, see what transpires after that. But anyway, that's all for next time. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm not sure that's relevant. Now we've met him, I'm not sure that's even relevant anymore. You know? I don't think I want to do that, because that's just supposed to be full of fear. But anyway, that's all for next time. Let me know what you think. If you've got any preference, you've got any ideas, let me know. And, yeah, I'm enjoying this. Let's have a quick look back at our wardrobe. Look at that. That's going well. We've got 4 and blank here. So we want to push some of these. Yeah, we want to see where we're going to push some of these and see where these go. But anyway, yeah, that's looking rather good. Anyway, let's go back to the calendar. Anyway, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed that. And of course, I shall see you in the next one. Thanks very much. Bye.